A dying 15-year-old boy's final breath was supposed to change the world forever. But what if he never took that final breath? What if the boy who was meant to die actually lived? The entire history of England, and perhaps the world, would be completely unrecognizable today. It's 6th July 1553, inside Greenwich Palace. In a grand, airless room, a boy is dying. He's only 15 years old, but he's the King of England. His name is Edward VI, the son of the monstrous Henry VIII, the boy for whom his father had torn a kingdom from its faith. He's wasting away. A terrible sickness has consumed him. His breathing is a ragged, painful whisper. His body, once full of youthful energy, is now skeletal, covered in weeping sores. But his mind, sharp and fiercely intelligent to the end, is fixed on one thing: his legacy, his dream. A new Jerusalem, a truly Protestant England purified by the fire of the Reformation. And that dream is dying with him. He knows what will happen when he stops breathing. The crown will pass to his half-sister Mary. Mary, the devoted, unshakable Catholic, the daughter of the rejected Catherine of Aragon. She will take his godly kingdom and drag it back to the darkness of Rome. She will undo everything. Around his bed, powerful men whisper. John Dudley, the Duke of Northumberland, the most ambitious man in England, sees his own power about to evaporate. And so a desperate plan is hatched, a device for the succession. The dying boy is convinced to write his sisters out of history, to name his Protestant cousin, the gentle, bookish Lady Jane Grey, as his heir. It's a frantic, last-ditch coup signed by a trembling, dying hand. Edward's last words were a prayer. "Lord, have mercy upon me and take my spirit." Then he was gone, and his dream died. Jane Grey's reign lasted 9 days before the country rose up for Mary, the rightful heir. The Protestant dream was drowned in the blood of martyrs, and the stage was set for the chaos and glory of the queens who would follow. But history is a story of moments, of fragile lives, and the fevers that claimed them. Our world was built upon the death of this boy king. So let's ask the question that saves a dream and erases 2 queens. What if the fever had broken? What if the sickness had gone away? What if Edward VI had lived? Imagine the scene. The crisis passes. The young king, against all odds, begins to recover. He's weak, scarred, but he's alive. The news ripples through the court like a shockwave. For John Dudley, the Duke of Northumberland, it's a moment of sheer terror. His device for the succession, his treasonous plan to put his daughter-in-law on the throne, is now a death warrant with his own name on it. He's been caught gambling for a throne that was never vacant. For the princesses, Mary and Elizabeth, the news is a whirlwind of emotion. Relief, perhaps, that their brother lives, but also the cold realization that their own paths to the throne have just been closed, perhaps forever. As King Edward regains his strength through autumn 1553, he's no longer a boy to be manipulated. He's a king who has stared into the abyss and survived. He's seen the naked ambition of the men who surrounded him. His first and greatest act as a king in full command is one of brutal Tudor justice. The Duke of Northumberland is arrested, tried for high treason, and his head is struck from his body on Tower Hill. Edward has learned his father's first and most important lesson: show no mercy to those who would take your crown. With the traitors gone, Edward, now a mature 16, takes the reins of power himself. Who is this young man? He's not his father. He lacks Henry VIII's boisterous charm and monstrous ego. He's not his sister Elizabeth. She lacks her pragmatism and her political genius. Edward is a scholar, a zealot, an idealist. He's a true believer, convinced that he's been chosen by God, saved from death to complete the purification of England. And his first and greatest challenge is his sister Mary. She's the living symbol of the old faith, a Catholic icon in a kingdom he's determined to make Protestant. He summons her to court. The scenes between them are a clash of unshakable wills. He, the king, commands her to abandon the Mass and accept the new English prayer book. She, the daughter of Catherine of Aragon, refuses. It's not just a defiance of her king, but a defiance of her brother. He pressures her. He threatens her. He strips her household of its Catholic priests. He sees her not just as a stubborn sister, but as a cancer in the heart of his godly commonwealth. Her very existence is a challenge to his divine mission. His other sister, Elizabeth, is his natural ally. She's a Protestant, educated by the same humanist tutors. She's brilliant, sharp, and they share a close intellectual bond. In a court now purged of the old schemers, Elizabeth becomes his most trusted advisor, the one person he can rely on. They're the new face of the Tudor dynasty, young, intelligent, and fiercely committed to the Protestant cause. With his throne secure, King Edward, guided by his loyal Archbishop Cranmer, unleashes the full force of the Reformation. The middle way of his father isn't enough. The cautious reforms of his minority aren't enough. He wants a new England, a nation remade in the image of the austere, disciplined Protestant saints of Geneva and Zurich. The changes are swift and brutal. The last remains of Catholic worship are torn out of the churches. Stained glass windows are smashed. Religious statues are ground to dust. Church walls are whitewashed, their vibrant medieval paintings covered over. The beautiful, complex music of the old rites is replaced by the simple, unaccompanied singing of psalms. The center of worship is no longer the altar, but the pulpit. The sermon is everything. England is plunged into a state of enforced monochrome piety. This isn't a popular revolution. For the common people, this is the destruction of 1,000 years of tradition. It's the theft of their culture, their holidays, their connection to the sacred. Rebellions like the Prayer Book Rebellion that had already occurred are now crushed with an iron fist, not by a council, but by a king who sees dissent as heresy. A network of informers is established. People are fined for not attending the new services. To be a Catholic is to be a traitor.
The great casualty of this new order is Mary. Her defiance cannot be tolerated. In 1555, after refusing a final direct order from a brother to conform, she's declared a traitor to the crown. She's not executed. Edward, for all his zeal, cannot bring himself to sign his own sister's death warrant. Instead, she's placed under permanent house arrest in a remote castle. Her household is dissolved, her access to priests denied. She becomes a living martyr, a symbol of the lost faith, but a symbol without power. A king needs an heir. The succession must be secured. Edward cannot marry a Catholic princess from the great houses of France or Spain. They're the enemy. Instead, he looks to Germany, the heartland of the Reformation. He marries a German Protestant princess, a woman of strong faith and royal blood. The alliance solidifies England's position as the leader of a new Protestant bloc in Europe. In 1558, the Queen gives birth to a son. They name him Henry. The Protestant succession is now assured. The Tudor dynasty is safe. The claims of his sisters are now irrelevant. As the years pass, this England becomes a different country. It's more literate, as the focus on the Bible encourages reading. It's more austere. The boisterous, festive culture of Merry England with its saints' days and church festivals is systematically dismantled. But it's also more ideologically rigid, more intolerant. It's a nation constantly looking for signs of Catholic conspiracy. This England's place in the world is transformed. It's no longer a peripheral island kingdom trying to play the great powers of France and Spain against each other. It's the ideological and financial heart of the Protestant International. King Edward's government sends money and soldiers to aid the Protestant Huguenots in France and the Dutch rebels fighting for independence from Catholic Spain. The great enemy is no longer a matter of strategic rivalry, but of holy war. Spain isn't just a competitor, it's the Antichrist. And in this new history, the great figures of the latter 16th century are ghosts. The reign of Bloody Mary never happens. The nearly 300 Protestant martyrs she sent to the stake are never burnt. This means that one of the most influential books in English history, John Foxe's Book of Martyrs, is never written. The powerful national myth of a small Protestant nation heroically resisting the brutal tyranny of Catholicism is never forged. And the greatest ghost of all is Elizabeth. She never becomes queen. She lives out a life as the king's sister, a powerful and respected figure at court, perhaps a duchess married to a great English nobleman. She's known for her intelligence and her patronage of the arts, but she's not Gloriana. She's not the Virgin Queen. The extraordinary political genius, the cautious pragmatism, the almost mythical charisma forged in a life of surviving crisis after crisis, it never develops. The woman who gave her name to an age is a supporting character in her brother's story. Mary, Queen of Scots, also has her fate rewritten. She's still the Catholic Queen of Scotland, but her claim to the English throne is now non-existent. There's a healthy, legitimate male Tudor line. She's not a dynastic threat to be imprisoned and executed. She's simply the troublesome ruler of a perpetually hostile neighbouring kingdom. In 1588, the Spanish Armada still sails, but it sails against a very different England. It sails against the ageing King Edward VI, or perhaps his son, King Henry IX. It's a war between the two great champions of the Catholic and Protestant faiths. The English victory is still a triumph, but it's a victory for a godly kingdom, not for a virgin queen and her swashbuckling sea dogs. It confirms the nation's Protestant destiny, a destiny chosen a generation before. The world born from Edward's survival is a world of starker contrasts. It's a world without the Elizabethan compromise, the famous middle way that allowed for a degree of religious diversity. It's a world where England's identity is harder, more ideological, more severe. It's a nation constantly looking for signs of Catholic conspiracy. Edward's dream, the dream of a dying boy, came true. He built his new Jerusalem. He saved England from what he saw as the darkness of Rome and created a stable, secure Protestant dynasty. But in doing so, he erased his sisters. He erased the bloody, tragic reign that created a national myth of martyrdom, and he erased the glorious, legendary reign that created a golden age. He gave England order, but at the cost of the magnificent, chaotic, and unforgettable story that was to come. Our world wasn't built on the success of his dream, but on the spectacular, world-changing consequences of his failure. What historical turning point should we explore next? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to see more of the history that never was.